Welcome to 5-Minute Mediumship, and in this video we're going to look at Clair Sentience. So Clair Sentience is one of our primary senses, particularly when we're working with a contact within mediumship. If we think about the word sentience, it's that ability to feel, to experience, to perceive subjectively. And we could say we have that aspect to perceive when we're working clairvoyantly or when we're working clairaudiently as well, but they're very specific dynamics. So with clairvoyance, it's an image generally that's being generated within our mind's eye, and with clairaudience we have that thought that's moving through our conscious awareness. Now, as people start to work with Clair Sentience, it can be a little bit more difficult to distinguish exactly what is being given to you and how it's being given to you. Particularly if you're used to working clairvoyantly or you're used to working clairaudiently, it can feel as though those senses have been stripped away as you start to work clairsentiently. And very often it's because there's a subtlety with the aspect of clairsentience that until you realise that's what's happening, you don't always perceive the energy with perhaps the same strength that you might be working with clairvoyance. Ultimately, as we start to develop a sense of clairsentience, we actually enable more of the essence and of the contact to actually come through as we're delivering their evidence and their message. It's that ability to sense a greater depth and a greater range of the actual person in spirit that we're working with. And if you think about clairvoyance as a picture, and if you think about clairaudience as a thought, when we actually work with clairsentience, it's almost as though we are moving into that aspect of essence of the contact. Now, it's not quite like that, but it is that sense of having a greater availability of a range and breadth of information, knowledge, and aspects of that contact. And we've just become more aware of the entirety of the contact. So if we think about clairsentience and how we might perceive things when we're working with clairsentience, it can be something as simple as being aware of the contact's personality. So we might be aware of how jovial they are, of the fact they really used to enjoy laughing. We might be aware of a sadness that they're carrying within themselves. We might be aware of a sharpness of their brain and the sharpness of their mind and their wit. We might be aware of the actual presence and aspects of their physicality. So for instance, we might have that sense of a tightness around the chest if they suffered from chest issues or heart issues. We might have a sense of our awareness being taken down to our knees if they had problems with our knees. So when we're looking at clairvoyance, we're looking at a specific picture. When we're looking at clairaudience, we're looking at that thought from the contact. But when we're looking at clairsentience, what we're actually doing is we're looking at everything that we are aware of and everything that we are experiencing. Because as the contact works with us with a sense of clairsentience, all of our senses in some respects are stimulated, even if we don't see a picture and even if we don't have a thought. But we're aware of the impact that the contact is having on our energy, which stimulates and enables us to understand what they're actually trying to deliver to us. So for instance, as you're aware of a contact being happy, for instance, you might be aware also of a different sensation and awareness rising within you that tells you why they were happy. So when we work with clairsentience, what we're actually able to do is we're able to extend into the depth of the information that we're accessing and we're receiving at that particular moment in time. And as the contact works with us with a greater sense of clairsentience, we're able to move into that process of actually just allowing everything to unfold and understand the experience that we're having as part of the experience that the contact is trying to give us. The key thing to remember with clairsentience is that you are having an experience of being aware of something, and that's the difference between clairsentience and claircognizance, which is clair-knowing. With claircognizance, you just know the information, but you don't necessarily have the experience that enables you to understand how you're receiving it.